But brains before beauty, therefore we're going to go straight to Maya Margit.
Not sure how to respond
exactly.
to that.
Colonialism, because it's
Yes.
morning, we need to talk about colonialism.
Exactly.
Exactly. The source of ongoing debate in culture and society. Many say we are living in a post-colonial world. Many would argue otherwise. But is this economic and social landscape actually in a post-colonial session? I don't know. That's what we have Maya Margit for. Please. What is this about?
So this is an exhibition bringing 20 artists to Israel from all over the world. There's Israeli-Palestinian artists, and there's also artists from Africa, from Botswana, from Europe, from all kinds of places.
And an exhibition that you covered and,
Yes.
and experienced personally. Let's take a look at the report.
Does colonialism still exist? Or are we truly in a post-colonial era? These are some of the tough questions a group of artists in Israel are trying to answer. At the Benyamini Ceramics Gallery in Tel Aviv, nearly 20 artists, including Israelis, Palestinians, and others from outside the Middle East, came together for the post-colonialism project. For 30 days, they crisscrossed Israel and the West Bank while attending lectures on post-colonial theory. The results? An exhibition featuring a medley of ceramics, performance, and mixed media art.
Well, post-colonial theory's been around for a really long time, and the show attempts to deal with a lot of these questions raised by post-colonial theory, which articulated in very interesting ways in Israel.
Another question the show asks, how do we define borders in the digital age? Rock, a Taiwanese artist, attempts to provide an answer with his work, featuring hundreds of mini QR codes. When scanned, each one reveals an image connected to Taiwan's colonial history.
I think code is a new kind of international language. You have cell phones, you have iPad, and other high-tech devices where you can scan the QR code and get the information. It's the new way for people to communicate with each other.
And get the information.
As in Wang's work, the whole picture can never be seen all at once when it comes to colonialism. Like in Israeli artist Ayelet Zohar's work, titled The Museum of Unnatural History. The dioramas and sculptures are inspired by a news story from 2009. Zookeepers in Gaza painted black stripes on white donkeys, creating fake zebras.
The pictures were stunning, and I really thought that was so provocative and really performed some sort of ideas about simulation and mimicry and relationship between original and copy and nature and unnatural.
The landmark exhibition also explores post-colonialism from a specifically Israeli perspective. In Israel, the very use of the word colonialism is highly controversial.
Can I speak about Israel within the context of colonization itself? And there's the word apartheid that keeps getting attached to Israel today in the media. And what I see, what the bias that I noticed was that there is, depending on what you're watching on the news, they're very different. My experience here is very different to what I would expect it to experience.
In their multimedia installations, both Modisa and Niha look at the body as landscape.
Political situations might be different in different places. The human situation is the same, and so I wanted to work with that sort of understanding of the porosity of these ideas and the fluidity of these ideas.
Ultimately, the post-colonialism exhibition asks many questions, but does not claim to have all the answers. Still, it's clear that the legacy of imperialism is one that continues to inspire artists everywhere.
Maya Margit, who covered this, post-colonialism, such a loaded word.
Very loaded, and especially in Israel.
Yeah, and especially in Israel.
Yeah.
How much, did you find that portrayed a lot within the exhibition, that type of criticism?
Of the word itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, every artist I spoke to there was basically saying, I'm not sure we can use this word, especially in Israel, because the context here is very specific. Right. And it is very controversial for most Israelis, I would say, because, you know, especially when you're talking about the early Zionists, the pioneers, who were socialists for the most part, they didn't really associate themselves with imperialism and with that kind of ideology. So I think it's a difficult kind of word to use in Israel, but it's interesting nonetheless, and I don't think the exhibition tries to answer the question exactly. And if you look at the title of the exhibition, it has a question mark.
Right, it
so.
has a question mark, exactly.
Yeah.
Is art, so maybe not to get at the type of criticism that one would